Hi guys! So I know that I've been missing for over a year on my YouTube channel, and you're probably like, oh, I totally forgot about this girl, unless you follow me on Instagram, where I've been like active, and Facebook actually, to be fair. Follow me on there, then you'll remember me. So obviously I took some time out. I'm going to explain why. Why not? Okay, so a lot of people want to know about my business, which, you know, is good. So obviously people, I guess I don't really kind of make it clear, like, that maybe I do, my business is like what I do, like 100%, that is my job, and kind of like everything else kind of comes second. And maybe that's why as well, like I took time off and this and that, because, you know, like the business is what I concentrate on. So that's why maybe like I haven't been 100% on the videos, but I've got an amazing team now. Like, my staff are just amazing and I just love them so much, and they just kind of keep everything running and keep everything going. So I feel like now I can kind of like take a step back a little bit and just like be able to do like my videos more. But yeah, so my business is what I do. Like, that is my thing. So I set Foxy Locks up. It'll be 10 years in April, which is just crazy, like crazy. That when I first started, you know, I was at my parents' house, in my bedroom, and my parents were super supportive, because they were just like, you know, allowed me to kind of do what I wanted to do, and they believed in me so much, because, you know, at the time I was just out of college. I'd done beauty therapy in college, and I did beauty therapy for a little bit. I set up like a little salon in my parents' house. But for me, it just wasn't really what I wanted to do. Like, it was great because I was self-employed, but I wanted to push myself further, and I wanted to be my own boss. Like, I always said I'd be my own boss. Like, that was what I wanted to do. So I basically thought about it. I was wearing hair extensions at the time. I would wear clip-in hair extensions. They were always like really awful quality, or if they were good quality, they were really expensive, but then they would also be like really thin, or like you wouldn't get much in a set. So I'd have to wear, like, I remember I used to wear like 2 full packs of extensions like in my hair. Like, it was crazy, like how many clips I had on my head. Like, I must have been wearing them like right up here, back combing my hair, like the crap out of my hair, to try and like cover all these clips. Like, it was crazy. So I just kind of had like a brainwave, and I was like, well, I want to bring out amazing quality extensions. Like, I want to bring out extensions for myself that I can wear, and I know that I would like to do that for myself and all the other people out there that want to, you know, that want this, because I feel like, you know, I felt like there was a niche in the market at the time. So this was like, you know, obviously 10 years ago. So I basically went to my parents and I went to my mum, and I was like, you know, this is kind of what I want to do. I want to bring out these hair extensions, and, you know, I just, you know, I've done a little bit of research, and I feel like I need to do more, and I need to really find out kind of how I'm going to do this. And I remember my mum was just like, yeah, that sounds like a really good idea. Like, go talk to your dad. So I spoke to my dad. Same thing, and I was like, obviously, you know, I'm not going to have like a normal job, because I'm going to be researching, and hopefully it's going to pay off. But I really feel like it's going to be good. I really feel like, you know, it's something that I was really into. It was like a huge passion of mine, like hair extensions, hair. You know, even though I did beauty therapy, I loved hair. I'm not quite sure why I didn't do hairdressing or hairstyling, but anyway, it's all the same kind of industry. So I went to my dad, and he was just like, yeah, you know, that sounds like a good idea. Like, we're here to support you. Like, you know, because most parents would probably say to their kids, what are you talking about? You're dreaming. Go get a normal job, you know? And that's where, you know, not everyone, but like a lot of parents would probably say that, because it's, you know, they don't want their kids like, you know, just out of college being, you know, they want you to get a job, and to kind of believe in your child that is just out of college, that they'll do, you know, they'll be able to do something that they want to do. That was like really, really cool of them. So they let me just stay in my bedroom researching for like hours and months and weeks, and yeah, you know what I'm saying. I was literally just researching so much, like getting everything I needed to know. I knew a lot about the product anyway, because I wore them, so I knew what I wanted. Like, I knew that I wanted to bring out like thick hair extensions, and I wanted to bring out good quality, but I also wanted them to still be affordable. Like, that was the thing for me. Like, obviously hair extensions, when you get good quality, like, they're not cheap, and you wouldn't want them cheap, because then they would just be cheap. But at the same time, I wanted them to be such good quality, but at a really like reasonable price for the quality you're getting. So I was just like, yeah, researching for so long. And then I managed to get my first sample set in, and I was like, okay, these are good. And when I look back now, like my first sets were nowhere near like as amazing as they are now. Every single year, like I'm trying to make them even better. So that's kind of like what I'm doing now. But I got my first set in, and I literally remember, like, it was so funny because I had like the packaging was just like a simple like see-through bag, and then I would just like glue on like a business card onto them that just said like Foxy Locks and this and that. So so that was kind of cute, like from the beginning. And I remember I like designed my own logo, like I did the website, and it was it was a mess, but it worked and it was fine. So anyway, so I bought in, after I was happy enough with the quality, I bought in my first like 10 sets, and I put them up for sale. I think at that point actually I even put them on eBay, I'm not sure, but I definitely tried to sell them like elsewhere. So I had them on eBay, and then I had them on my website. And they sold, and then with the money I made from them, I put that back in. So I didn't really start with any money. I didn't have like loads of money, like I had like some savings. And I used the savings to then, but it wasn't like a lot. Like I literally didn't have a lot of money. Like I wasn't brought up, like I didn't have like a huge amount of money or anything. So it wasn't like, oh yeah, I was given like so much money to do a business. Like it wasn't like that at all. I really kind of started from nothing, and then with every sale that I made, would put that money back into the product and buying more stock. So that's kind of what I did. So I first 10 sets, got them, sold them. Then with that money I bought like 20, 30. And I remember when I first had like my first 100 sets, and I remember like putting them on my bed, and I was just like, oh my god, like this is so exciting that I've got like 100 sets of extensions. And it was just so lovely to think back, like how far it's come, like how many, like we're selling like thousands a month now, and it really has grown from strength to strength. And it was, like it was a niche in the market. Like now, like the market's like flooded with hair extension companies, but without being biased, like I know that my product is amazing, and like I worked really hard for it. And a lot of companies have come along with like a lot of money backing them, and they've just kind of like copied all the people that have worked really hard, and they've just blown up to be like one of the most well-known people. And that's fine, why not? People copy, but at the same time I just feel like it's such a I don't know, I don't really know how to put it, but it's like, it's kind of rude on like the little companies that have worked so hard for like so long, for then like massive like multi-million pound companies to come along and just be like, people to come along and just be like, yeah, let's just do this, and then let's go and get such and such someone super famous, and we'll pay them like millions of dollars, and then we'll end up being the biggest brand, and then people get pushed out. So I feel like that happens a lot with loads of companies, and that's just the truth of it. But there's people that have literally put like blood, sweat and tears into their company, just for other people to come along and just try and take that away. But for me, it just makes me like push harder, like to make the product even better. And I know, like I have bought hair extensions from competing companies, the big companies, and I know that my product is better. People, you can agree, disagree, but I know it's better, and I know that the prices are cheaper. So for me, that's what I can bring to the people that, the hardcore fans of Foxy Locks, people that come back all the time, new customers. So for me, that's just, what makes me feel good, that I know I've got a good product. And, we want to make our customers happy. That's the main thing. Like, your happiness is my happiness. So that's the main thing. And I'm hoping that the business will be even bigger, this year, next year. Like that's kind of my thing, because it's been a tough year for me, like a really tough year for me actually. And don't cry. So I said I wouldn't cry. Okay. So going back to when I first started, you know, things kind of got better and better, and it was, you know, it was doing well like early on, and that was just amazing. And so in the beginning, you know, I remember my mom had a job that was nice, but the people at her job like didn't treat her very nice, and it was crazy because my mom was like the nicest person ever. So I was like, right, okay, you know, I'm not allowing my mom to be in a job where, yes, it's a nice job, a nice enough job, but you know, people aren't being very nice to her, and like I just wasn't gonna have that. So I remember saying to her, I was like, look, I'm getting like a lot busier with my company, you know, orders are coming in. This was like right at the beginning. This was like, you know, 10 years ago. 10, you know, nine and a half, whatever, you know, it was a long time ago. And I said to her, I was like, why don't you work for me? And I remember she said to me, she was like, look, she's like, I want to help you, of course. Like, I'll help you, like, whatever. Like, I'm your mum. Like, I'm here for you. So she's like, I will join as long as I can have 6 weeks off a year in a row, so she can go off to Barbados. And I was like, come on. I was like, absolutely. You know, that's nothing. So my mum worked for me from the beginning. Like, she was my rock, you know, like, we did everything together, like from the beginning, you know, and then like, so first of all, like there's so much has happened that like, you know, it's like too much. So from the beginning, I worked from my bedroom in my parents' house. From there, I went into their garage and I took over their garage. And then from there, I bought my first house. I forget like at what point in the company, but this was quite early on. So I bought my first house, and then I remember I converted the garage in my first house into, yeah, like a stock room, a warehouse kind of thing, you know, like small scale. And then from there, I bought my first offices in and my first kind of warehouse in my town, my local town. And that was, you know, it was a nice size. It was kind of smallish, but it was good, and it was the next step up, you know, from my garage. So yeah, my mum was there for me like all the whole time. And then she, you know, I was just like, I trusted her, like, you know, she's so trustworthy, you know, and she was there from the beginning, and it was just me and her, like it was me and her against the world. So the first place I got in town, in the smaller kind of warehouse, I then got another place, so I moved and I bought the whole building, and we took the top floor, and then since then we've taken over the bottom first floor as well. So we've got the top floor, then the first floor, and then another office at the back. So we started kind of like taking over this like whole property. So it actually like worked really well. So that's where we are like at the moment. And I've got like, you know, such a good team and everything. So basically going back, so obviously my mum was there the whole time. She's always been so supportive, and it was so lovely to have someone working for you, because she was the manager as well. So just working for you and knowing that you can trust her and that she's gonna, you know, sort things out for you. I'm really gonna try and not get upset. Yeah, my mom was like the nicest person ever. Like she helped me the whole way with my company. And then in May 2017, she was diagnosed with, well, I'm really struggling with this. So in May 2017, she was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer. And when she told me, you know, my whole world just like fell apart, as you can imagine, because she was everything. She was my best friend, and, you know, my mum, obviously, but she also worked with me, you know, I spent every day with her, and, you know, from now on, you know, it's like, I'm so happy to have done that with her. So she was given a really short time to live. And before that, she would always joke about working with me, you know, till the end, until she couldn't walk anymore, until she was 90 years old. You know, I'd be wheeling her into the office. Like, we used to joke about that and stuff. So yes, she was given like a really short amount of time to live. They said it could be a couple of years at best, but it could be a few weeks. And this was in May 2017. So she was still working for me in the beginning, and then she started having chemo, and I went with her to have chemo, and things like that. And anyway, she had terminal cancer. This wasn't a walk in the park. And, I researched so much. I was like, I have to get her better. I have to cure her. I'd sell everything. I would sell my whole business. I would just put everything into trying to fix her. But I couldn't. So we couldn't do anything. My whole family wanted to do everything we could, and we couldn't. And the chemo didn't work. And she passed away on New Year's Eve of 2017. And I won't go into anything too much, I try not to cry. But obviously, when that happened, wow, I can't even talk. And when that happened, my whole life, my whole family's life was crushed, It was the worst thing that's ever happened to me. I'm really struggling. So I've got obviously questions from people asking why I took a year out, and that is basically why. So we are in January again, 2019. Excuse me. So the whole of 2018, obviously my mum wasn't there, and I had to adjust everything without her. And it's been extremely difficult. Anyone else that's experienced grief like that, you can't compare grief, but never experienced any kind of real grief before that. I had, I'd lost people that I knew, but it was like my mum. It was just so different. So anyway, that was why I'd taken time off, really, because, I lost my everything. And even for my business and stuff, I took a step back, and I was just like, I can't do this. Because I was just so lost, without her. But this is why, I'm coming back better, stronger, more motivated now that I've had the year out, because I've had time to reflect, and that's kind of where I am with it. So I'm never really going to be 100% happy, because I've lost my mum, and that is always going to be so hard, and it's always going to be a huge hole in my life, in my family's life. It's never going to be the same. But I feel like I have no other choice other, I could just put myself in a hole and just sit there and just be super depressed and really sad all the time and just not do anything. But that's what is that going to do? My mum would be so disappointed if I did that. My mum would be so disappointed if I didn't carry on doing what I wanted to do. And I know that she loved my videos and stuff, so she would hate that I even took a break. But I guess she would have understood. But I'm doing it for her as well. That's the thing. All of this now is for her, even though she's not here. It's just to to prove to myself that I can still carry on and everything's still going to be okay. Okay, so just to finish that topic, obviously, it was hard for me to come out, and I've said a lot about it actually on my Instagram, but obviously I've never said it on YouTube or anything, but yeah, so just know, if obviously everyone loves their parents, maybe not, maybe you do, but just whoever you love, just make the most of them. I made the most of my mum so much, but obviously, afterwards you're like, oh, I could have done this, but I do feel like, I did everything. I gave her my all. So just don't take anyone for granted that you love.